Hey guys, this is Lovin Meets with the Real Housewives of Dubai Season 2 newest star. Her name is Taleen Marie. We talked fitness, music, and Ali tried his very best to wrangle some Season 2 tea from her. How did that work, Ali?
Let's just say I didn't fail epically, but I wasn't successful either.
She gave us a little bit, but she talked about the drama that's coming. She talked about her own journey and her impeccable career to date and the reason why she felt it was important to join the show. Please take a listen. Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. Today we have a very special guest. She began her career in music. She performed for Pope John Paul II before she moved to Dubai in 2014. She is the newest cast member to join the Real Housewives of Dubai Season 2. Welcome to the show, Taleen Marie. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
We are so excited to have you on the show. You've no idea. Big fans of Real Housewives. Big fans.
Yeah, we were talking about reality TV shows earlier and in the show, and we talked about what we actually love watching, and the Real Housewives of Dubai was one of them.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. You're gonna love Season 2 because I'm on it. So.
You are on it, and you're the only new cast member to join. How does that even come about? Do you approach Andy? Because Andy's obviously Mr. Magician.
He's the head. So what happened is my good friend who was on the first season, she's also on the second season, she put my name forward. As all the girls, when they do the casting for Season 2, because Nina Ali, took a step back, they needed a replacement. So each girl, they would put, their names, their friends' names forward. And then from that point, I just went through like a very extensive audition process, so to say, interview process. They want to make sure I'm legit and that I'm ready to put my life on camera, which it's not easy, to put your privacy out there. So they want to make sure that all the ducks are in a row, so to speak. And yeah, the rest is history. It just worked out.
And could you tell us, what is the criteria to become a housewife?
You have to be a little crazy, I think. Your mental health has to be questionable. No, I'm kidding. No, I mean, look, I'm obviously married. I live in Dubai. I have 2 children. I'm an entrepreneur, not just a mother and a wife. I've been in this region for about 10 years. And I've been in the entertainment business since, I was a professional singer at the age of 9. So, I've kind of been in this game. I've never done reality TV, but I do think that was a pivotal thing for the producers, that I was comfortable enough to share my life and be on TV.
But was that a big step for you? Because I think this is exactly what we were talking about before you joined the show, that it takes a lot of nerve to put you and your family to the public.
Totally.
So were you prepared for that? And do they actually help you? Do they have conversations with you about it?
The biggest thing for both my husband and I, because, it was a big decision, as you're saying, was, do we put our children on the show? I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and I don't want to exploit my kids in any way. So that was for us our biggest thing. But, when they're filming for 8 hours in your home, how do you find that balance? And my thing was, being a mother is so part of who I am. And I've had a very difficult journey to get to that point. And when you watch Season 2, you'll understand my story. So I felt like that was an important part of my life, and it's such a priority in my life, that we ended up saying, you know what, let's go all in. Let's just, when I put my heart into something, I'm going to do it 110%. I didn't want to hold back. But of course, it was a tough decision. My husband has been in this region for about 20 years. So, he has a reputation. He's worked with the government, and sometimes these reality shows, they get a bad rap, and they can, thrive off scandal and this and that. So we definitely had to make a conscious decision. But I knew that I wasn't doing this for fame. I was doing this as a platform and to be able to connect with people, especially mothers.
So we want to know, who was the most welcoming housewife?
Good question. I have to say Sarah Al-Madani. She was Like, she literally welcomes me with open arms. I actually met her a couple months before I even knew I was going to be on the show. She knew that I was kind of in the interview process. And yeah, she was very, very welcoming, very warm, very genuine. That's just the person she is.
You know, when you say the interview process, like, what is that like? Do they kind of introduce you to all the housewives to make sure that you have chemistry?
Well, they definitely, I knew a lot of the housewives because it kind of has to make sense, right? There has to be somewhat of a connection. But for me, I was actually in the States when I was doing the interview process, and it was all via Zoom. So I would just go through different producers. It's kind of like a ladder. You go through a casting agency, and then you go to the production, and then you go to Bravo, and then Andy, you know, the god by the end of it. So it really goes through like a totem pole, so to say. But it's very extensive. And then, you know, they have to make sure that the family is on board. So they interviewed my husband, which he was against it, by the way, in the beginning. He's like, I don't know if I can do this. But by the end of it, he's like, where's my makeup team? Where's my lighting guy? Like, he's Mr. Hollywood now. He loves it. He loves every second of it.
And he's met all the other husbands and they all get on.
Oh, yeah. They all get on. It was nice because my husband and I both, like, we're kind of people that were somewhat peacekeepers. I mean, we like to bring people together. And I think there is drama, of course, even between me and some of the girls. But he was able to bring a lot of the husbands together, which you didn't see as much in season 1. So in season 2, I think you're going to see kind of a masculine point of view, which will be nice. And then I was able to bring kind of some of the girls together somewhat.
You know, you mentioned that obviously one of the concerns was the backlash that you might face. And when season 1 came out, the backlash was about, you know, this isn't a real representation of Dubai. How do you respond to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you say housewives, a lot of people take that in the traditional sense. And when you look at the franchise of Real Housewives, these women are not just sitting at home and caretaking, you know, as housewives, it shouldn't be that, you know. I think if anything, we're empowering housewives and women all over, and we're showing that we're not just mothers, we're not just wives, we're not just, you know, at home, we're entrepreneurs, we're empowering other women. So I knew that backlash was going to come, especially being the first franchise coming out of the Middle East. I knew, we all knew that was going to come, but I think all the women on the cast, we are here to break those barriers and to show what it really should be and what it is, and be trailblazers, so to speak.
Earlier, you touched upon drama.
All Ali's questions are
he's in it for the drama. Let's hear it, Ali.
Yes. So what is the biggest drama of the season?
Well, you're going to have to wait and see because I'm not going to give the tea. But I will say that a lot of the dynamics change through the friend groups. And I think that's normal with any group of friends. There's a lot of highs. The highs are high, the lows are low. And I think the biggest difference between the first season and this season is, you know, the first season, the girls weren't as comfortable with each other. And a lot of people maybe could say that it felt a bit forced. Even though they knew each other, they were somewhat of a group. This season, those friendships are a lot more solidified, which means the drama is a lot more solidified and it does go deeper. So I'm not going to give you details, Ali. I'm sorry. Sure. But you are going to wait and see because there is a lot of drama, but there also is a lot of positivity and love through it. I hope people watch it for that as well. Ali doesn't. He watches it for the drama. But so you're gonna get a lot of everything.
Well, rather than telling us about drama, could you name someone who instigates the drama? Like,
you're gonna get me in trouble, KC. The instigator, I would say. All right. I'm gonna say it's Caroline Brooks, the girl that brought me in.
Your bestie,
my bestie. She instigated a lot of it. Yeah, that's all I'm going to
Caroline
say.
Brooks.
That's all I'm going to say.
Caroline, you've been taken down by your bestie on the
That's
show.
it. I'm sorry.
My
But
days.
look, maybe she didn't mean to. Some people just have it in them where I respect her in the sense she speaks her mind and she speaks her truth. And that can ruffle a lot of feathers sometimes. So I don't know if she was consciously doing it, but hey, I mean, the show needs that. So it's a good thing.
True that.
Let's rewind a little bit.
Okay.
And can you tell us a little bit about your music career?
Yes. So I started singing at a very young age. I'm from the States, actually, originally, from Washington, D.C., right outside of D.C. in Virginia. I started professionally singing opera, actually. That's when I sang for Pope John Paul II. I sang at the White House. I sang at 6 operas. Then from there, I moved to Los Angeles, where I moved into more pop R&B. That was always ingrained in me. And I was signed with Jamie Foxx. And that was such a great platform for me because obviously it opened so many doors. You know, he had just filmed the movie Ray. He was at the height of his career. So I was able to work with just incredible producers. I worked on American Idol. I got to open up for Christina Aguilera in Abu Dhabi, actually. So it was an incredible experience singing and songwriting. But then I migrated towards fitness. And I'm jumping the gun a bit, but that's kind of, that happened once I moved to Dubai. But I'm still singing, just not, I'm not trying to like shake my booty and be the next Beyonce.
So incredible.
I'll get injured if I do that. I think I'm too old for that now.
What a wild career path to have led.
Yeah.
One thing I read, correct me if I'm wrong, you moved to Dubai in 2014 for love?
I did, yeah. So I met my husband, Raphael, in the States, actually. I was living in LA and he was in Dubai. So it was an extremely long distance relationship, like a 16-hour flight, long distance relationship. But we made it work for 2 years.
Wow. Anyone
know.
watching long distance relationships, they can work.
It works. If you want it to work, it works, but you gotta want it. And no, he's the love of my life. It was the greatest decision that I made. And I moved here once we got married, which was 2014, and I've been here ever since. 2 kids later, and a reality show later.
A reality show and a career in fitness.
And a
Give us
career in
quick rundown
fitness.
of that?
Yeah. So when I moved here, you know, I've always been in fitness my whole life, even while I was doing music. But when I moved here 10 years ago, I realized there was a space and a need for fitness, particularly among women. And it wasn't like how it is now where, you know, you see just fitness everywhere. So I really wanted to empower women, and I ran boot camps tailored for ladies only, and personal training, nutrition, mental wellness, all of that. And it was so fulfilling for me. And that's actually because when I first moved to Dubai the first year, it's not that I didn't like it. It was just that transitional period. You know, I didn't have my own thing. So once I found a place for myself in fitness, it was just very obvious for me that I wanted to continue that. And after having children and going through my journey, which you'll see on the 2nd season that I talk about my story, I wanted to focus more on fitness postpartum with postpartum mothers, or fitness with mothers who are pregnant or thinking about it, because for me, fitness, you know, I regained my identity through fitness, and that's kind of my message.
In Dubai, we are a fast-paced environment, as everybody knows,
Yes.
living here. Do you have any top fitness tips or like for like a healthy lifestyle in Dubai?
Yeah, you know, with Dubai, I think it's very easy. I remember when I first came out here, I was just eating out all the time. Like, there's a new restaurant popping up every day. Yeah, exactly. And it's always so good, right? It spoils us. The food here is the best, the drinks, the food. And, you know, while I promote moderation, everything in moderation, because I don't think you should completely restrict your life, I do think nutrition is so important. I'm on a meal plan with Right Bite, actually. They're an incredible company. I'm not trying to plug it, but they are very, very good. And not that everyone should be on a meal plan, but I think that meal prep and knowing your caloric intake and at least trying to eat well during the week is very important, and give yourself the wiggle room on the weekend. So I think eating is the number one. And then, of course, just moving every day. Try to get your steps in. You don't have to be, pumping iron at 5 a.m., but at least get your steps in, and hydration, especially in the desert.
Interesting. Before you leave us, I think one thing that you touched on is that the stereotype of housewives isn't what it is, and actually what you're doing is trailblazing women. You're starting businesses. You're doing a lot more than what it looks like, I guess, from the forefront. So do you have advice for working moms in business who are trying to balance a life and just trying to keep it going? Like, what is your top tip for maintaining a healthy life balance?
Red wine really helps. No. Lots of it. No. No, I mean, that's a great question. I think, I take that question very personal, because for me, it's always trying to find that balance. I think we have to go easy on ourselves. We all have that mom guilt. We always feel like we're never doing enough, and we're never spending enough time with our children. So I think my biggest advice is go easy on yourself. When you follow your dreams and when you do what you love, your children see that. And to me, that's inspiring. And I want my daughters to see that I wasn't just sitting at home and being that traditional housewife. I was doing what I love to do while still trying to balance. It's hard. It's hard. I deal with it every day. But the advice is go easy on yourself. Do what you love to do. Surround yourself with family, a good support system. I couldn't do what I do without my mother being here. She comes from the States, my sister, my mother-in-law. It takes a village, as they say. And I think that's, and my husband, of course. And I think when you surround yourself with a good team, anything is possible.
Amazing. Love that so much, guys. That is Taleen Marie, the newest star on Real Housewives of Dubai. She'll be joining season 2. When is it coming? When is it dropping?
I know as much as you. Like, we still don't have a date, but very, very soon.
We wanted a trailer up here.
I know. Trust me. I do too. But it is worth the wait.
Very soon. We're talking pre-Christmas. Do we know?
Again, I don't know. And I really don't know. But hopefully soon.
To a screen near you very soon.
Yes.
Marie, thank you so much for
Thank
doing
you guys.
being so open in the conversation.
Of course,
really.
anytime. I love what you guys do, by the way. Really, I love Lovin Dubai. I'm not just saying that. It's amazing the current events that you guys post. I have a lot of respect for you guys. So thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here, really.
So kind of you. Thank you so much. Guys, that is it for us on the Lovin Dubai show. We're back with you tomorrow morning, same time, same place. Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.